is so loud and so dominant that people many times can't really listen what we're saying. Even though now it might be very quiet. But even in being quiet, we are projecting and we're sending out messages. So Krishna consciousness is the topmost yoga system. If you want to learn how to become a yogi, go on Sankirtan. You learn the art of yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi. You learn what it means. So let us absorb ourselves in the holy name of the Lord by serving the Vaishnavas, by trying to develop these qualities so that we can actually touch the hearts of some living entities who will come forward and who will say, yes, I want this process because I can see the positive effects. Where can they see it? They see it in you. You are the living, practical example of the philosophy. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing us the way, and in our own small little ways, we can try to follow in his footsteps. Now, today is the disappearance day of His Grace Aindra Prabhu, and I would like to give some time so that some devotees can share some of their memories which they had about him. I met Aindra Prabhu many times in Vrindavan while he's performing his ecstatic kirtans. I was just there a few months ago when I was teaching in Vrindavan, and it was very heart-rendering to see him have the whole Krishna Balaram Mandir spellbound, in rapt attention. Everybody, residents, guests, visitors, anybody, young and old, devotees, tourists, initiated people, new people, everybody was fully absorbed in the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, because he had such an intensity, he had such a taste for the holy name. And I went to his room and I spoke with him, and he was very, very kind and loving as usual, and we spoke for quite some time. And it is a very sad thing that he left this world so early, but we have to understand that he reasons ill who thinks that the Vaishnavas die, for they're always present in sound. They're always present in their instructions, and they're always present in the holy name. So let us take today this opportunity to remember His Grace Aindra Prabhu, to dedicate our chanting, our serving, our book distribution to his loving memory. For remembering such great, pure devotees of the Lord, we too have a chance to become purified and to uplift our existence. And in this regard, I want to share a small story, and then I close here. Buddhimanta Prabhu was one of the first book distributors who gave those books at the gas station. Instead of paying, he gave books in America. Now, he distributed many, many books. Initially, many books meant 5 books, 7 books. If you did like 12 Krishna books in one day, you were the biggest book distributor in ISKCON. But he really pushed forward this big book distribution. And he went to a darshan where Prabhupada was there, and Srila Prabhupada was talking with so many guests and so many people, and he came in the room, and he had just come back from Sankirtan, he had just taken a shower and put on a dhoti, but he was having bare chest, no kurta. So Srila Prabhupada, there's 2 versions of the story. One version goes that he took off his own kurta and gave it to him, and another version is that he told his servant to take a kurta from his almirah, and he gave it to him. So Prabhupada was so pleased with him that he gave him his own kurta, right in front of everybody. And he asked him how is Sankirtan, and they were talking with each other, even though so many people were present there. And later on, he had contracted leukemia, cancer of the blood, which is a very debilitating disease, very painful. And he was in Vrindavan in his last months. And I went together with Damodar Swami and Harinamananda to visit him. It was in the mid-90s. after Govardhan Parikram, we went there to see him, and his consciousness was not very clear because the disease was already taking him away rapidly. But when he started speaking about Prabhupada, his mood became very sober and he very clearly spoke. And then he started laughing and laughing and laughing, and he said that, I have just distributed a few books and Prabhupada gave me his own kurta. Now you are distributing thousands and thousands of books. What would Prabhupada give you? Huh? And he told so many stories about Prabhupada, and it was wonderful. Then we left, and a few months later we heard that he had left this world in Vrindavan. And when we looked at the calendar, the day he left this world was Shivaratri, which is a very special day. And we all remembered that that day, each and every one of us distributed the most number of books we did in that year, even though it was not a marathon day. I did 255 Mahabig and Big books, 2 Srimad Bhagavatam sets, 1 Chaitanya Charitamrita set. People were just throwing money at me. Like sometimes you don't know what happens. People just throw money at you and take books and smile. Huh? So, and we realized, all of us realized that today, because Buddhimanta had sacrificed his life for the distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books, today Krishna said, let everybody get the mercy. Qualified, not qualified. Interested, not interested. Money, no money. You take it. Take it. Huh? Like Mahaprabhu was putting the mangoes in everybody's pockets because nobody was there in the marketplace. Not even ready to pay any price. He said, I've brought all these fruits of love of Godhead. I cannot take them back. So he just forcefully gave everybody the mercy. So in the same way, when we absorb ourselves, especially today, in hearing and chanting, and in sharing Krishna consciousness with others, as Aindra Prabhu was doing it, he gave his life for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. And then we can enable so many living entities to appreciate that holy name. And if we can appreciate somebody who is appreciating the holy name, we'll make rapid spiritual advancement. And that's what's happening when you're preaching. That's what's happening when you're going out to give somebody a book. You are allowed to be an eyewitness to that moment where a living entity, for the first time, again turns to Krishna and says, oh, this is nice. And that smile, you offer that to Prabhupada. You offer that to Krishna. And if you're able to appreciate that, when people take to Krishna consciousness, we can all make rapid spiritual advancement. So let's absorb ourselves in the chanting of the holy name and in the spreading and sharing of Krishna consciousness to others. And in this way, we too, hopefully, one day, can attain the ultimate goal of going back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Grace Aindra Prabhu ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bo. So, Prabhu ki Jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai. Prabhu monitor. Hare Krishna.